Hey guys, this is Zach Cummings, UFC welterweight, middleweight, and light heavyweight. Check out Hungover Hand Right.
This is Hungover Hand Right, and this is the UFC Fight Night, Barboza versus Murphy preview show. That's Chad. I'm Jonathon. No Dylan, no Seth today. And we're a little late this week because myself, Dylan, and Seth were in the building on Saturday for UFC St. Louis. Chad wasn't able to make it, but he watched it on TV. Chad, on TV, what was the card like for you?
Man, it bummed me out because I missed a pretty fun card, it looks like. Crowd looked like it was popping, lots of knockouts. I mean, good fights. And the Black Beast got himself a knockout. So I was bummed watching it, but, got family things, Mother's Day weekend, you know how it goes. It was a fun time here with the family, but, I mean, obviously you're a little bummed missing out on a card like that. But I'm glad you guys were there. I mean, judging by your guys' Snapchats and videos and stuff like that in a group message, it was looked like a pretty good time.
Yeah, it was a good one. I don't remember if we mentioned this on air or not, but on paper, I think Kansas City, just name value wise, was probably a little bit better. But the St. Louis crowd brought it on Saturday.
Really?
I mean, oh yeah, and there was 3 St. Louis guys, but even obviously the Black Beast got a big pop. But even some of the non St. Louis guys that had good fights, or like Ribovics with the 12-second or the 37-second knockout, Olberg with the 12-second knockout.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the crowd was loud, and even it wasn't full for the first fight because they usually aren't, but there was even a "Let's go Hardy" chant during the first fight. So that kind of shows you it was pretty lively in there. So
there you go.
It was awesome. It was good. I mean, it was really good. A lot to get excited about on that card. And I don't want to take too much credit for this, but I think the St. Louis crowd really showed Dana what the fuck needs to happen with that stupid Apex, and they need to get out of there. But
yeah, I was surprised when he said that. He called it. I mean, they need to start getting away from the Apex and start, giving more to the people. People are going to spend money on this product they're putting out. Obviously some of the cards aren't as good as they are, but I mean, people love the fight game. So
yeah, I'm sure, to be fair, I'm sure they were thinking about that anyways, but I think that Saturday in St. Louis kind of showed them like, hey, we can put pretty much anything in any arena as long as it's got our 3 letters UFC on it.
Essentially,
people are going to go.
Yeah, do you put anybody with a name halfway on there? Headlining the event, people are gonna show up.
Yeah. So, we'll transition into this card. Does that apply for this card? Do you think could they go to some smaller city and people go to this one?
I mean, I guess we'll find out. I think obviously it'll be tougher with smaller crowds and see how it goes. I mean, they got a name headlining, in Barboza. And, Murphy ain't no slouch either, but, I mean, Barboza's been there, done that, he's been around, and he's still doing the damn thing, So, I mean, there's some younger killers on here, like only probably the hardcore guys are really going to really know. But, I mean, it's definitely name-wise or, what's the word for it, promotion-wise, trying to get your name out there, build a card. I mean, there's not really that big of names on there. Barboza's definitely the biggest by far.
Yeah, and part of the problem with this card is there's been some cancellations. I mean, Tamiris Vidal lost her opponent originally. She got a new one. Obviously, she's still on the card. Tim Elliott, Tatsuro Taira, that's a pretty big fight. That's off. And then Umar C, who is Sadabu C's brother, side note, has lost 2 opponents at this point, and now he's on his 3rd. So that obviously that doesn't help.
Mm-hmm.
But 5-fight main card. We're going to talk about all 5 of those, and we got a low key banger. But before we get to that, make sure if you're new here, subscribe to the channel. If you've been here before, like the video, and also make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We would definitely appreciate that.
Hit
You
the
ready
button.
to hit the button? You ready to get the low key banger, Chad?
Yeah, I'm down.
Alrighty. The one we went with, because like we've been kind of saying, there's not a ton to choose from here as far as low key bangers, but we went with Abus Magomedov versus Warlley Alves. Abus Magomedov, 25-6-1, coming off of 2 losses in a row to guys you've definitely never heard of, Barboza and Strickland. Fighting out of Germany, 33 years old, 6 feet 2 inches tall. Warlley Alves, 14-7, coming off of 3 losses in a row. Fighting out of Brazil, also 33 years old, 5 feet 11 inches tall. Abus is pretty good. He's ran into some tough dudes these last 2 fights. Barboza and Strickland. That's a tough ask. Pretty dynamic striker, or at least maybe not dynamic, might not be the right word, but a good kickboxer. Warlley Alves, he's been around for like a million years, but he's only 14-7, and he's only 33 years old. But kind of fights like he's about 43.
Yeah.
But has also fought some really tough dudes coming up. Colby, Kamaru, Alan Joban. I mean, he's fought some dudes. So I don't know. What are your thoughts here?
I mean, this one. I mean, like you said, it's kind of a tough one to pick from, with considering the lack of names or big popping names that jump out at you. But I mean, obviously Warlley's been around a while. I mean, he's fought some killers. I mean, champions, former champions, people contending for the belt. I mean, he's fought them. So, and again, he fights like he's 100 years old, probably because he's been against these guys and it hasn't, gone his way in the past. So, and is it Albus or Albus?
I say Abus, but I don't know.
Abus. Okay. For some reason, I thought there was an L in there. Abus.
Albus Dumbledore.
Yeah, Albus Dumbledore. Abus. The killers he's fought, obviously Strickland and then Barallo. I mean, Strickland ended up finishing him and all that. Strickland, is a psychopath, and ended up becoming the champion. This guy, I mean, he can strike all right with the best of them. I think he gets a little careless sometimes, but I don't know. This one's tough for me. Honestly, I can see it kind of going this fight going decision, but it kind of being a kind of like a brawling type thing, where I think I'm probably gonna pick. I'm probably gonna pick Warlley, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Warlley because Warlley can make things dirty when he has to. And I just think I think it might just be biased too that we've seen him around. I don't want him to go out there and get his shit kicked in. So
yeah,
I'd like to see Warlley pull one out. Plus, got something in my eye. Plus, I think he's on a losing streak right now. A pretty bad one, I thought.
Three in a row.
3 in a row. So, I mean, obviously, this is between the 2 Abuses lost in a row. This is kind of a get back on track for somebody, but I would assume they're trying to get Abus back on track. But
yes,
I don't know. For some reason, I'm thinking Warlley pulls this off just by making it dirty. I think Abus is probably the more technical striker, but Warlley can make things dirty, and I like that. And also he's a vet, and I want him to keep going.
Yeah, this is definitely supposed to be a get back on track fight for Abus. Warlley back in his heyday, I mean, he had some pop, and he could really like hurt you on the feet. He's an okay wrestler. He doesn't really. You look at the numbers. He doesn't shoot that much in his fights. I mean, a lot of his fights you go and it's 1 for 1 or 0 for 1 or so he doesn't really use the wrestling a ton. But And in the past, he's had kind of some gas tank issues, but there's really nobody out there that has more of a gas tank issue than Abus Magomedov. I mean, he gassed out after one round against Sean. Now, second UFC fight, main event with Sean Strickland, maybe an adrenaline dump could be to blame for that. But then in the Barallo fight, it was competitive for the first couple rounds, pretty back and forth. And I say back and forth. Neither guy was really able to land much. They were both really defensively sound, but first 2 rounds, 0 grappling in the fight, and Abus still got tired and slowed down in the 3rd round. Got caught and was in pretty deep trouble. So I don't know. I think I personally feel like this guy could be like super good. I mean, he is good, but he could be like a lot better if he could just at least go 3 rounds hard and maybe have to defend some takedowns and not gas out. And he barely can go 3 doing what he does, which is striking. So if Warlley cannot get caught, which 2 of the 3 losses on this losing streak are TKO losses. If he can avoid that, then maybe he's got a chance to kind of rally late. We'll go to the odds. Odds -285 Magomedov, +245 Warlley, but it opened at -475 Abus, so it's come down like almost 200 points. So people are kind of with you, I think, on that a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Warlley. I think he's going to make it dirty, and he probably sees what we're seeing in the gas tank, and he might come out hot. So,
like I said, he used to really like hurt people with the hands. I mean, and I don't know. It just seems like now he just doesn't. I don't know if it's like he doesn't believe in his striking as much anymore, or he doesn't believe in his own chin. I'm not real sure, but it doesn't seem like he really like gets after these guys as much now. But Tapology, 778 votes, 94% Abus, 81.9% KO TKO. What are your thoughts on that?
I think I'm going to go with what I've been thinking. I mean, I know at the beginning I said decision, but I could see. I think I might switch it. I think it might be a late first TKO for Warlley. I could see late first because him coming out, and late first, early second with the boost getting tired or something and TKO. Or I think it might go decision. Obviously, fight game, Warlley might get his head kicked off in the first round. Who knows? But
Warlley's pretty split. He's pretty split on the method, like his wins, six subs, 4 TKOs, and 4 decision wins. So I mean, he can kind of get it done different ways.
Yeah, I think we're probably thinking of I think first round's probably a little too much. So I'm going to say early second TKO.
Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go pretty similar to you, but the opposite person. I mean, the gas tank scares me, but I just don't know if Warlley's got the firepower to really fuck him up bad enough to. I mean, again, the gas tank mixed with Abus, he'll find the door if you really put it on him. But I'm gonna say Abus catches him with something. I don't feel great about. I don't feel as great about him knocking him out as I do him winning. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go Abus like second round TKO. Anything else on that one?
Tough for me. That one's tough for me. I want Warlley to get back on track just because he's been in the game for a while, and
yeah, this will be his 16th UFC fight, which is it doesn't sound like as many as you would expect. Like, I mean, he was on Tough in 2014, Tough Brazil, and he won, or Tough Latin America, yeah, Tough Brazil, and he won. And he's only fought 16 times in the UFC, which is nothing to sneeze at, but he's kind of had some inactivity throughout his career.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else there?
No, I'm good with that one.
Alrighty. Main card. According to Tapology, the main card opener. We're not sure about the actual list. You never are. But Angela Hill versus Luana Pinheiro. Angela Overkill Hill, 16-13. Coming off a win over Denise Gomez, fighting out of New York City, apparently. I thought she was a California chick, but 39 years old, 5 feet 3 inches tall. Luana Pinheiro, no nickname. You know how much I love that. 11-2, coming off of a loss to Amanda Ribas, fighting out of Brazil, 30 years old, 5 feet 4 inches tall. Luana, you can tell who her boyfriend is by the way she is all lateral movement all the time. She's obviously dating Mateus Nicolau. Probably the most attractive UFC couple in the game right now, I'd say. But she's definitely got that. Nicolau is constantly circling right, left, circling, and she's the same way. The big difference. Well, she comes from a judo background, but and her striking really kind of consists of a overhand and a left hook. I mean, that's about it. There's nothing straight down the pipe. Now, she beat the shit out of Amanda Ribas in the first round. Mm-hmm. Amanda was split open, already swelling up real bad. And then Amanda just decided that she's just going to put a bunch of volume on her and kick a ton, just spam the X button on PlayStation. And, talking about gas tanks, Pinheiro kind of gassed out in that one.
Yeah, she did. And, Amanda put it on her. So,
yeah.
This one, obviously Angela Hill's been around a while. And salty record. She's beaten some people and then lost and got absolutely just her ass beaten to some of these people.
11-13 in the UFC.
Yeah, that's wow. That's crazy. Most people are cut, with a losing record in the UFC. Mm-hmm. So it tells you a little bit what they have going on with that division. And I think Luana's gonna beat the hell out of her. Honestly, I just think that's what's gonna happen. I just don't see much out of Angela Hill. No disrespect to her or anything like that, but I've seen what I need to see from Angela Hill, and she's not going any higher than where she is right now. She's almost 40. It's the end of the line here. The latter end of her career. I think Luana's just going to piece her up and beat the hell out of her, possibly. Honestly, I'm not going to say finish because Angela is pretty tough. So she's taken some beatings and kept going. So, but I think it's just Luana's going to be put it on her and win by decision.
Yeah, this one's so tough because they're kind of like polar opposites. They're both strikers. Although judo is Pinheiro's background, but it's Pinheiro's like a lot of movement and just bombs, and mm-hmm. Angela's kind of she's real Muay Thai. She's kind of stationary and just picks at you with front kicks and straight punches, but Angela, she's lost 13 times, but only 2 of those were finishes, and they were both subs. So she can take a beating. Mackenzie Dern had the performance of a lifetime against her and kicked her ass every which way you could, and Angela didn't quit. So I think Luana has the power to knock these chicks out. She ran into Amanda Ribas last time, who's pretty durable. Mm-hmm. Angela Hill's been pretty durable historically, so I don't know. That's why this one's so tough, because Angela's really good in the clinch and really just kneeing the shit out of you, which could really kind of chip away at the gas tank of Pinheiro too, maybe. So I don't know. This one's really hard for me. I think saying it's going to go to decision is not a hot take by any means.
Yeah.
But that's definitely where I'm leaning. Minus 135 Hill, plus 115 Pinheiro. I don't know. I think maybe I might go with you on this one. He might take the dog, Pinheiro.
Yeah, I think. I mean, who knows? Angela's surprised us before, where she's come out and had a good performance and beat somebody that she wasn't supposed to. But I don't know. I just think Luana's just got more in the tank and probably has a little bit more of a future.
Yeah. Tapology 572 votes, 62% Pinheiro, 89% decision. Yeah, I think I may go that way. I think probably a split is what I might go with. Split decision. Yeah. I'm gonna say split decision.
Yeah, I could. I mean, I could see something like that, but definitely a decision. I don't think there's going to be a finish or anything like that.
I think Angela Hill can Pinheiro, I have no doubt, is probably gonna like whoop her ass in the first round. But again, is she gonna gas out and drop the second half of the second and drop the third and make it just razor thin? Because Angela's not, she's not a cardio freak necessarily either, but she's gonna stay in there and she's gonna keep trying.
Oh yeah, she'll keep coming. She'll take a beating and keep going. So I mean, she's tough for that, and I'll give her credit for that.
Yeah. All right, Pinheiro decision for you.
Yep.
Yeah, same here. All righty, on to the next one. We're sending a lamb to slaughter on this one, I think. Adrian Yanez versus Vinicius Salvador. Adrian Yanez, 16-5, coming off of 2 losses in a row. Also to guys you've never heard of, Martinez and Font. Fighting out of Houston, 30 years old, 5 feet 7 inches tall. Vinicius Fenomeno Salvador, 14-6, coming off of 2 losses in a row to guys you probably actually haven't heard of. Fighting out of Brazil, 27 years old, 5 feet 7 inches tall. Vinicius Salvador is one of my least favorite fighters in the UFC. I can't stand the way this guy fights. He's so cocky and he's got his hands down and he leans out of range and thinks he's cool because punches miss him, and then he just proceeds to like not do much. Just kind of touches you, spars with you, and he's lost 2 in a row to Victor Altamirano and CJ Vergara at flyweight, and now he missed weight last time against Vergara, so now he's going up to bantamweight and fighting Adrian Yanez, who has been ranked, who's a really good boxer, who's fought Rob Font and Jonathon Martinez. And, the Font fight was really weird because it seemed like Yanez was like looking really good. And then like 30 seconds later, he was fucked up. Like Font just started touching him with a jab, and all of a sudden he didn't have an answer for it. But Yanez can box, and Salvador is like kind of a flyweight reject going up to bantamweight. Like, let's be honest. So I don't know. Yeah. What do you got here?
This is definitely get Yanez back on track. He's coming off 2 hard losses, and against killers. So I think Yanez comes out here and he's probably going to catch him and knock him out. So that's what I think. I hope so. I think that kid's got a bright future. They probably pushed him up a little too fast, maybe, and they didn't build him up as much as they probably wanted to. They put him up against a killer and Rob Font, a guy who could box and then
the Martinez one was kind of unlucky because he was kind of doing fine with Martinez, and then he just got kicked in that same spot, the inside low kick, just over and over, and he tried to start checking him, but it was like too late. He couldn't stand on his fucking leg anymore. So, I'm not going to hold that one against him too much. But Yanez, he's a great boxer, obviously, but I don't know. I'd like to see a little more skill set wise out of him at some point.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be put back right on the right track and he'd get his shit together. I think he's got a bright future.
Yeah, I mean he's 30 years old, but which isn't old or isn't really young either. But it's kind of about that time prime. He's
Yeah.
had the lessons, the Rob Font lesson and everything. So
Mhm.
I think obviously this is an opponent kind of tailor made for him to knock the shit out of, and
Yeah.
the odds are minus 350 Yanez, plus 285 Salvador. I honestly, I mean, I feel like that's not wide enough, honestly.
Yeah. I think I don't know. I see he's going to knock him out, and then it's going to probably be pretty quick.
Yeah, 583 votes, 96% Yanez, 83% KO TKO. Yeah, I mean, it's Salvador just hands are down all the time.
Mm-hmm.
He's leaning a lot. I feel like Yanez he's too well schooled in the boxing to just swing and miss all the time. The guy's leaning back and he just keeps missing. I don't see him doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes to the body really well. I think that'll be a factor too. Salvador is a I believe a southpaw. Yeah, southpaw, and Martinez was a southpaw. So maybe he sees that and tries to go to that inside calf kick or inside low kick. But I just don't. He's not Martinez. He doesn't kick like Martinez.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I think Giannis gets back on track.
yep. Alrighty. Moving on. Ramiz Brahimaj versus Themba Gorimbo. Ramiz Brahimaj 10-4, coming off of a win 2 years and 2 months ago. Fighting out of Bronx, New York. 31 years old, 5 feet 10 inches tall. He actually trains at Fortis MMA, I believe. Themba, the answer Gorimbo, 12-4, coming off of 2 wins in a row. Originally from Zimbabwe, fighting out of, this says South Africa, but he trains at MMA Masters in Florida, the Rock Bottom House in Florida. So I want to say he lives there probably.
Yeah.
33 years old and 6 feet 1 inches tall. Brahimaj, in theory, should have had a better UFC run than he's had. I mean, he has, his losses are to Max Griffin and to Court McGee, but his wins are to guys like Michael Gilmore and Sasha Palatnikov, which, is not blowing anybody's hair back. But the thing about Brahimaj is he's considered a wrestler. I mean, all 10 of his wins are by sub, and he's supposed to be a good wrestler. But you look at like him versus Court. Court said, "Oh, you're a good wrestler who all your wins are by submission. Okay, how about I take you down 5 times and just get right after your gas tank and test that." And it worked. I mean, it worked like a charm. Took him down, got him tired, beat him up on the feet, dropped him. And so it's just, I don't know. It's tough for me to kind of get a good read on Brahimaj because, first of all, he hasn't fought in 2 years. And so maybe he's made a bunch of improvements. But what I can guarantee is that Themba Gorimbo is making improvements. I mean, this guy,
definitely.
he's from Zimbabwe. He came over to the U.S. with, I don't know, what was it, like $20-something to his name, and The Rock heard about it and bought him a house. So I mean, he's grinding, and that's kind of his style. He's a grinder. He's just gonna outwork you. So I don't know. What do you got here?
I don't know. Themba guy, I mean, he's got some pop, too. I mean, he can crack. And like you said, he's a grinder. Like, he's going to outwork you. He's going to scramble. I mean, he's going to do what he can to win a fight. I mean, he's just one of those guys. He's got that tenacity to him. I just think that's why I think he's going to get it done. I think he's going to catch him. I think he's quick. He's pretty crafty. I think he's going to find the chin, I think, and probably get it done. I think, obviously, is it depending on if he can. I mean, obviously, I think he's going to probably get wrestled, tried to at least. But I think he's a good worker, and he's going to scramble out of those. He's shown it a couple times, but he's got hands, and he might catch him coming in quick. Yeah, I think he gets it done. I think that's what's going to happen. Honestly, I don't see, like you said, with why did I just forget his name?
Brahimaj.
Yeah, Ramiz. With Ramiz, I just think, like you said, he's lost to some guys, you know, like names that people have heard of, and then he's only won against people aren't. I mean, he should have a better record. He probably should have won against some other people, especially he's a wrestler. His gas tank's kind of given out on him a couple times, and I just think that he's gonna get caught. I don't know. I think Themba's gonna get it done.
Yeah, I mean, again, like on paper, this fight should have play out as Brahimaj taking Themba down and putting him on his back. But I don't know. Unless Themba, he knocked out Pete Rodriguez in 30-something seconds last time out, like one punched him, 32 seconds. So unless he is like, I'm going to get after this guy with the hands and knock him out too, unless that happens, I don't really see Brahimaj keeping up with Themba. I think Themba, he's going to see the court fight, and his coaches are going to see the court fight, and they're going to be like, that's the blueprint. We attack his gas tank, wrestle, clinch, like all that, and I think Themba's probably not quite as good of a wrestler as Court, but he's got the gas tank for it, and he's got the will to do it. So,
at least make him think about it and all that.
Yeah, and just make him defend, and then the knockout gets a lot easier from there. So, I think I think he needs to get in his face early and often. Odds -135 Gorimbo, +115 Brahimaj. Yeah, I'm going to side with who I think is going to stick to the plan and have the gas tank to do it. I'm going Gorimbo also. You got a method to knock out?
Yeah, I think he knocks him out. I'm going to say, I wanted to say quick first, but I think it's going to be second round knockout. Do you think he's going to catch him? Probably catch him with I'm going to say an uppercut. Uppercut's coming.
What did we say the heights were here? Probably decent gap, 6'1", 5'10". So yeah, uppercut might be there. Tapology, 736 votes, 89% Gorimbo, 68% KO TKO. Let me just look at Brahimaj. So he's 4 losses, 3 decision losses, and 1 KO TKO loss. So, and actually that was a ear falling off stoppage. His ear literally, I don't know if you remember that, but it literally was like
exploded.
It like became partly detached from his head. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Themba, but I think I'm gonna go sub. I think he's gonna drown him on the mat.
See that?
And maybe sub or maybe club and sub. I don't know, but I'm gonna go sub like 3rd round. I think.
There you go. Yeah, I could see that. I don't know. I'm thinking. I don't know. Themba's just so quick. I think he's crafty. He's gonna find a chin.
Yeah. Anything else there?
No, I'm good there. That'll be a fun one, I think.
Yeah.
I like the way Themba goes. I like just the way he fights. I like it.
He's just lunch pail. Show up to work and just work his ass off. That's his style.
That's what I like.
Alrighty, co-main event. It's hard to believe that these two guys are in a co-main event, but Khaos Williams versus Carlston Harris. Khaos, the Ox Fighter Williams, 14-3, coming off a win over Rodolfo Bellato, sorry, that's a different guy. Rolando Bedoya, fighting out of Detroit, 30 years old, 6 feet tall. Carlston, I don't even know how to pronounce that. Mocambique Harris, 19-5, coming off of 2 wins in a row. Originally from Guyana, fighting out of Brazil, 36 years old, 6 feet tall. It's really hard to believe that a guy who's striking makes your eyes bleed as much as Carlston Harris is in the UFC. I mean, this guy, now it works sometimes, but it's like if you're looking for technical striking, you're not getting it from him. His arms are 6 feet long, so that helps. And
Yeah.
he can take it coming back at him, and he's actually surprisingly decent at like not getting hit himself, although Shavkat did that. But yeah, and he's not only in the UFC, but he's 4-1 in the UFC. And he just, I don't know, he just finds a way. He's really good with the chokes. So he just finds a way to just let you make a mistake and him choke you out from it.
Mhm.
So, and then obviously we know Khaos. He wants to kill you. I think he looked really bad in his last fight. It was a short notice guy out of Peru who wasn't scared of his power, and it was a split decision for Khaos. And I'm not so sure he should have won. So,
Yeah.
but
He's a guy who's trying to take your head off,
yeah.
It's just
And he's typically more technical than that. I just feel like he didn't respect that guy at all. And he's just like, I'm going to stick my face out like this, and I'm going to go forward. And it just wasn't great because Bedoya made him miss a lot. But what do you got here?
This one to me, I mean, Chaos has always had that, put your lights out power, and that's what he's always looking for. He does get careless in a lot of his fights. He just because he's head hunting, he's trying to go, which I think might be his downfall. He might get finished here by a via sub, a rear naked choke or something, or gets his back taken. Able to swing and a miss, ducks the overhand and clinches and just starts riding his back and then puts him out. I think that could happen, and probably to me, I think honestly, it's probably going to be later because obviously Khaos might, unless Khaos comes a little bit more controlled and everything. I know that's kind of like an oxymoron I just said, but unless he comes out that way, I could see it happening probably early to mid second round.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. That's what this whole fight comes down to for me is like, what approach are we getting from Khaos? Like, will he stay technical?
Mm-hmm.
And because, I mean, he's not the best technical striker, but, he's got good takedown D, and he can be more technical than his last fight. He's done it before. I mean, the Randy Brown fight, he was more technical. He still had some rough moments in that one too, but will he stay technical and patient, or will he get bored and just decide it's go time? We're going to take his head off because Carlston Harris, not some special wrestler by any means, but if you get in his face, he just sends them fucking arms around him. They wrap around people like 3-4 times, and he can just drag you down. And so, Khaos, he just cannot just give him the clinch and give him the grappling, which he can do sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he's just going to be a little too careless. I think it's just that's part of him. It's go, go, go. I'm swinging, the heaviest hands, and I'm going to catch you. And it's almost that throw caution to the wind, not necessarily to get hit, but just fucking give up the most vulnerable position ever. And, just swing and a miss, here's my back, or clinch me up to where that's your strength, and now you can, take my head off. So I think that's what's going to happen. I just don't see Khaos, reeling it in and staying focused.
Yeah, and one thing I should mention, I mean, I just was hating on Carlson's striking. He did drop Impa Kasanganai and TKO him in the first round. So Impa's obviously the PFL champ now, so that means something.
Mm-hmm.
But, Khaos, 3 losses in his career, all 3 decisions. So, he can take some damage and take some punishment and wear it pretty well. But yeah, I mean, we haven't really seen him tested by like a guy who's actually dangerous on the mat.
Mm.
So I don't know. This is a tough one. Like, let's look at the odds here. Minus 122 Khaos, plus 102 Carlston Harris. It actually opened. Khaos opened as the dog, plus 130, and people
Really?
kind of hammered him. So,
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know.
That was tough.
Yeah. Tapology, 524 votes, 63% Harris, 64% decision. Ah, man, it's so tough. The decision's actually surprising because I was looking at, I don't remember exactly what the number was, but I was looking at the over-unders and the fight goes to decision props. And it was actually like kind of big plus money for overs and goes to decision or goes the distance. So,
Wow.
but I think I'm kind of with the voters here on the decision part. But I think I'm going to pick Khaos actually.
Okay. I don't think it's a bad pick. I mean, Khaos can do the damn thing. I don't know. I was kind of going off of those last fights and just looking sloppy, and it may have been chalked up to didn't have any respect for the the short notice guy and all that. But I don't know. I just don't see Khaos as being all that technical of a striker. Obviously better than his last fight, but
Yeah.
I just literally his name's Khaos, and that's what he's trying to
You got to live up to that, right?
Yeah, I think you got to be the one to cause it if your name's Khaos. So I think it's fair.
Side note, I mean, I don't know if this has anything to do with anything, probably not, but Khaos only fights in May. His last two fights were in May 2023 and May 2022, and now this is in May. So he lost the first one in May, won the second one, so maybe we're going more towards losing the third. I don't know.
Maybe we'll see.
Conspiracy theory. So you're going what, sub TKO?
Yeah, I think it gets it done sub. Probably, I'm gonna go second round, mid to late second round.
Okay, I'm gonna go Khaos decision. I'm gonna side with the fact that I think he'll control the chaos a little more this time and be a little more patient because now saying that, I mean, you look at Carlston Harris, Khaos is probably going to think I can murder this guy. His striking's bad.
Oh, yeah.
So that doesn't help my case here, but yeah, I'm gonna go Khaos decision. Anything else there?
No, I think no, that one's good. It's a tough one, definitely. I think that's one of the tougher ones to choose.
Yeah. All right, main event. Edson Barboza versus Lerone Murphy. Edson Jr. Barboza, 24-11, coming off 2 wins in a row. Fighting out of Florida from Brazil, 38 years old, 5 feet 11 inches tall. Lerone the Miracle Murphy, 13-0-1. Fighting out of England, 32 years old, 5 feet 9 inches tall. I have a lot on this one, so I'll send it to you first.
Okay. This one, obviously, Murphy with, what is it, 13-0, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big O to lose, but, some people do better when that O goes away. But I think Barboza's still got stuff in the tank. Like, that guy can crack with the best of them. And he always shows up especially when people are calling for him to lose, and he comes out and he starts whipping someone's ass. Kicking their legs off, kicking their face off, doesn't matter. And oh yeah, he's a black belt on the ground, but he likes to kick the shit out of you. So,
Yeah.
I love Barboza. I think, honestly, and it may just be because of bias and everything, and how he's one of a vet. He's been there, done that. He's a hell of he's tough as nails, and he's jacked all of the time. One of the most vascular people out there. And that's why I think he might be the one. And I think they gave Lerone this fight thinking, oh, this is going to be 14-0. You beat this guy, then you're moving up. Then we're okay. Now we know where you're at. But I think Barboza is going to come out, and obviously we've seen him take some punishment and everything like that. But he's tough as nails, and he's always got a good gas tank. He'll piece you the fuck up. He's tough. He's good. He's good in the clinch. He's crafty with kicks, elbows. Doesn't matter. That's why I think Edson's going to take this, and I'm probably leaning decision. But
Yeah.
that I think Barboza is going to get it done because I think he's going to get overlooked.
Yeah, and I mean, talk about him kind of still having it. I mean, his last fight against Sadiq, he got absolutely ran over in the first round. I mean,
Oh yeah,
we're kind of Herb Dean haters on this podcast, but like you got to give Herb a lot of credit for that one because Edson, he probably could have stopped that like 2 or 3 times. I mean, hurt, dropped, ground and pounded really bad, and then Sadiq got tired and Edson took over. You know, this will be Edson's 30th UFC fight. He's 18-11 right now. And he's this will be his 8th since moving up or moving down to featherweight. Featherweight's been kind of a mixed bag for him. Like he's 4-3 at featherweight, losses to Bryce, Giga Chikadze, Dan Ige, wins over Billy Q, Sadiq, Shane Burgos. But you look at Josh Culibao you look at Lerone Murphy, his best win is probably Josh Culibao. And and it was a decent win, but Lerone to me is just like the ultimate generalist. I mean, he's just pretty good at everything.
Mm-hmm.
Got a pretty good gas tank, can wrestle, can strike. But I think what this is going to come down to is he going to wrestle a lot? I don't striking with Edson, although Edson has been hurt, in the past and everything, but I'm not a big fan of Lerone striking personally.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's kind of one and done, kind of slow, loves to, leave his head kind of right out there in range. And so, I would love to know if it's like wrestle early and often or if it's strike with Edson. I would love to know the game plan because
I don't. He might test it out a little bit in the beginning with his hands with Edson, but I don't think that would be probably a good decision on his part to stand and trade with Edson because Edson, like I said, is crafty with his strikes. I mean, he'll come in with straight elbows, spinning back kicks, crazy
knees.
knees. That's how he took out Billy Q. I mean, coming in for a takedown, and I don't know. I just think I'm kind of pumped for this fight, honestly, now that we're talking about it, and I want Barboza to win. Take that goose egg real fast from him, and just Murphy, like you said, he's a jack of all trades, master of none. I think obviously he's tough. This is his biggest test, and I think people overlook Edson. They think, oh, he's older and all. Obviously that Yusuf fight, like you said, he was getting run through the first round, getting hurt, and then stuck it out, and then proceeded to beat the shit out of Yusuf's body.
Mm-hmm.
Just kept going to the body, kicks, punches. It didn't matter. Just kept going, and Yusuf got tired, and Edson showed that he was. Had a lot of dog in him, and kept going, and he still got shit in the tank, and he's ready to go.
Yeah.
He's been a fucking gatekeeper for, like, one of the gatekeepers for that division for a while. Just the guys that are, all right, you want somebody to test you? We'll test you, and we'll put these guys against you. Obviously he lost to a couple pretty good guys in that division, with Bryce and Ige and
Giga.
And Giga. Yeah, those are 3 pretty damn good guys to lose to,
And guys that are kind of like really, really elite in one area. You know, they're good at everything, but like obviously Bryce, the grappling. Now that fight could worry you a little bit if you do think Lerone's going to the grappling, because Bryce kind of at will took him down.
Yeah.
But, you know, Giga, obviously world-class kickboxer. Dan, maybe kind of more of a jack of all trades, but has like the death touch.
Yeah.
All of those things are things that I don't think Lerone has. Like, he's just kind of decent at all that. He's not great at any one thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I'm sticking with Barboza. I think he gets it done, and it's probably going to be a decision.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll get to my official pick in a second. -138 Lerone, +118 Barboza. It actually, money's been coming in on Lerone a little bit. -116 is what he opened at. So people are betting him a little bit. I think, you know, you can kind of probably chalk that up to the 38-year-old fighter getting faded by the bettors.
Yeah.
So Tapology, close, really close actually. 612 votes, 55% Barboza. Method also pretty close, 52% decision, 46% KO TKO. I think, you know, like you mentioned earlier, like Barboza slipping and ripping against Sadiq when Sadiq started slowing down. I think that could be a big thing here, because Lerone, when he strikes with people, which, you know, he does quite a bit, it's a lot of times it's like one straight punch and that's about it. You know, one at a time, bang, and he's kind of real slow to get his head out of there. And I could see Edson either slipping and ripping with the hooks or catching him with a knee. I'm going Edson, not only to be the first person to beat Lerone in MMA, but to finish him. Give me Edson TKO.
That'd be awesome. That's what I want. But I'm this one. I just see he toughs it out. Lerone, you know, shows some toughness and everything, but then realizes, oh fuck, like this is a new guy. This is somebody that ain't to be fucked with, you know. So, and gets kind of woken up and almost like a welcome to the UFC kind of fight. Like this is the competition. This is the level that you need to be at in order to further your career.
Yeah. Yeah, and, you know, I guess to your point, I have no doubt that Lerone's going to come prepared and in shape. He's always in good shape, always seems to have good 3-round cardio. So, yeah, I mean, you know, if he mixes it up and kind of does everything and kind of keeps Edson guessing, you know, it could definitely be a lot more competitive. But yeah, I'm gonna say he gets caught. You got anything else on this fight or this card in general?
No, I think honestly, I mean, talking through it, card looks a little bit better. Obviously, to the naked eye or the casual eye, it probably isn't as exciting as past cards. But I mean, it's a fun little card. There's going to be some bangers on here. I mean, obviously, you got Yvette and Barboza, and you got some other guys in there. You know, Khaos is an exciting guy to watch as your co-main. I think it'll be a fun little card. Obviously, it's not supposed to be obviously it's not anywhere near what a pay-per-view should be or anything like that. And but I don't know. I like it. I'm excited for it. I'm gonna watch it.
Yep. I think you know, it's UFC fights. They'll deliver. There'll be some definitely some interesting things one way or another. So if that's all you got, I guess we'll get out of here.
Yeah, I think we'll get surprised probably with a couple of these fights. I think some fights will be talked about, or we'll be talking about them the next day. Like, holy shit, we didn't see this coming. But hey, you know, it's a fight game.
And then we got a week off from the UFC. No UFC next Saturday. So
yeah,
get
Memorial Day weekend.
Yep. Well, that's Chad. I'm Jonathan. Appreciate you guys watching. Make sure, again, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Our socials are in the description. So, yeah, I think that's about it. Appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you next time.
Peace.
Later.